University of Nairobi is ready to make its contribution using both theoretical and empirical research approaches to articulate issues confronting multilateral trading system and generate useful knowledge that can help nations to work together in reaping the benefits of international trade using their comparative advantages. I believe that we can work together with WTO and other state actors present here to address these challenges through capacity building, research and reporting, and through outreach programs by articulating our regional perspectives to the rest of the world and influencing national policy adaptations to WTO.
This dialogue is not only a noble African contribution to strengthening the multilateral trading system, but it's also very timely. Accession activity from this region have intensified since Nairobi Ministerial Conference, especially second half of last year, which we often attribute to Liberian effect. So this Liberian effect had impact not only in this region, well, Africa as a whole, but also across the world over remaining accession, from the Caribbean, like the Bahamas, Middle East, well, Central, Southeast Asia, even to the Pacific, the small islands. WTO accession is a process of domestic reforms, accompanied by adjustment in the legal and policy frameworks governing the trade and economic policy of the acceding government. Why this process can be long, yes, very demanding, yes, and sometimes very daunting. Most, if not all governments who has gone through this process before you, and by the way, many of them are actually sitting with you here today, can testify that at the end, WTO accession has done some good for them, as it is part of their domestic reform agenda to modernize and transform their economies. Comoros, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Somalia, they're in the process of accession to the WTO. For these countries to become member of the WTO like Kenya, they actually have to negotiate in terms of entry to the organization. And some of them have been in this process for a long time, like Sudan already, because sometimes it is a process of domestic reform, so therefore it takes a lot of time. It's not only that you have to align your trade regime in line with the WTO rules and principles, so you also have to negotiate market access negotiations. So it takes lots of time, but we're hoping that with Kenya's leadership and assistance, they will be move faster to become WTO family, so that basically you are all in the region following the same rules.
So basically it's a very arduous and a very demanding process, very, very demanding. As I said when we had our meeting in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it took a country like China 15 years. Sudan has been, on the way for 24 years, yes, like Micah said this morning. And others have taken much longer. I know that Saudi Arabia also took a long time to come on board. So if for bigger countries it takes about 15 years to come on board, you can actually try and just fathom what it would take a small country. Their capacity issues, their political will issues, there are also the controversies and the politics of the entire world. And you actually have to sit down and negotiate with each and every WTO member that requests to negotiate with you. What we decided to do together with the WTO and the University of Nairobi is have the first dialogue in Africa here in Nairobi, following on the successes that we had in December 2015, and pledge our support to these countries, right, that are coming on board. Tell them that we will walk the journey with them, and that any experience, any knowledge, right, any information that we have, we're ready to share with them. And they should not be too cautious about coming on board, because we too need them in the WTO.